We're set up on the tripod. Well, good morning. My little car parked behind me at the trailhead. Take a look at the view. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful view this morning. It's around 7:30 in the morning. We're at the top of the Blue Mountain ski hills, and it's an absolutely gorgeous day. Now the weatherman does say it is going to rain. 60% chance of rain later in the day, but that's okay. A high today of somewhere around 15-16 degrees Celsius. Maybe 58, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. Perfect. We're starting a 2-day hike. It's around 28 to 30 kilometers out, a wild camp overnight, and about the 28 to 30 kilometers back tomorrow. Gary here, trail name Jasper. Hey, welcome to my channel. Let's get to it. The hike today. Well, again, it's a 2 full day hike, around 28 to 30 kilometers a day. Northbound, mile marker 0 of the Beaver Valley section of the Bruce Trail, heading to the Metcalfe Rock, or the Metcalfe Rock area, maybe slightly beyond. There are 1 or 2 areas there that I'm familiar with for an overnight stealth camp, and areas I have camped there before. This is actually the first overnight hike of the 2020 season, and this weekend promises to be relatively mild compared to what it has been. Today's high is somewhere around 15 to 16, maybe even as high as 17 degrees Celsius depending where you are, and the low tonight somewhere around I think about 4 to 6 degrees Celsius for the low. So not too bad at all, actually. We have camped in much colder, but I generally wait till around the beginning of May for my first kind of overnight adventure of a particular season or hiking season. So yeah, so that's the plan. That's what we're doing. You know what? It's relatively a basic kind of hike. There are some areas that are challenging for sure. The whole trail tends to be challenging this time of year just because of the amount of mud on the trail. So it's definitely hiking boots, definitely knee-high gaiters, simply because the mud can be really quite horrendous in particular areas. Where we are right now, not too bad at all. Quite breezy this morning. The weatherman said a 60% chance of rain today, 0% tomorrow. That's okay. We have good gear with us. Speaking of the gear, we're going to talk about that over the next day or two. A little bit more in depth about what we've got, what we're using, and why we've chose it for this particular hike. Pack weight. My pack weight today, with vlogging camera, full water, and probably around 3 days supply of food. Even though it's a 2-day hike, I do tend to carry a little extra just in case I need it. I'm coming in at about 30, maybe 31 pounds, which is really quite normal for me and my gear. And the only difference between that and say a major through hike would be the amount of food I carry. I'd be carrying another 3 or 4 days of food on top of what I've got if I was doing a through hike at this time, which of course I'm not. Yeah, so that is the plan. As much as it is, it's a perfect time of year. I love early May. I love May in general. Beautiful month. A lot of change goes on. Everything bursts into life. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay. We're going to talk more, but for now, let's get to it. Let's lay down some miles. We just finished probably the first of the kind of major climbs of the day, but we're back at this lookout point. We were here, oh, maybe about 7, 8 or 9 days ago, doing a day hike through here. And yeah, let's take a look at that view again today. It's a beautiful view. Wow. Take a little look-see. Georgian Bay and the islands way in the distance. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The other side of the escarpment, which we're going to be climbing up very, very shortly. In fact, the trail, if you can see it, is actually way, way, way down there. I'm not sure if I can pinpoint it on the GoPro, but I'll see. I'm not very good at this, but the trail is just down there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. Wow. So yeah, we're already down to shorts and t-shirt and a sweat, but that's quite a climb. The mud is just crazy, although we have just finished 2 or 3 days of pretty steady rains, and the ground is still totally wet from the snow melt off. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I believe today is May the 3rd, Saturday. Wow. So the gear, let's just mention 1 or 2 things right now about the gear we're using for this overnight hike. I'm using my Osprey Aether 70 litre backpack, which is the one I use for all my kind of overnight through hikes or anything like that. And I love this backpack. Its only drawback to this backpack is it's heavier than, say, a Z-pack, but I do like it. The tent, our shelter tonight, we're going with our Mountain Gear Warehouse 2-man tent. I did want to try out my Kelty 2-man because that's a new shelter for me, and I bought that with the Colorado Trail in mind, which of course is totally up in the air right now. But it's not a stealth type tent, whereas the Mountain Gear Warehouse 2-man tent blends in very well to the background, the scenery, the trees and so on. Makes it perfect for a trail like the Bruce, where overnight camping is essentially frowned upon. So it's a perfect tent for the hike overnight or through hike. It's the tent I used last year on my through hike of this particular trail. So the mud, yeah, pretty crazy. Probably the #1 thing I hate about the trail the most is probably the mud, over bugs even. Mud, you work much harder, you have a lot of energy wasted in slipping and sliding. Your feet get caked in wet, soggy mud, and you're carrying a significant amount of extra weight around the foot. It's just a challenge, and super slippy, of course. Quite easy to fall, hurt yourself, and so on. Okay. Right now we're a little over an hour into the hike. Goes fine. I'm not anticipating any major problems at all. Again, I'm familiar with it. Temperature's not going to be too bad for the evening. And speaking of temperature, I am using my best sleeping bag of the two I have, insofar as when I say best, the one that's rated for the coldest temperatures, which is my Teton Trailhead 21 degree Fahrenheit sleeping bag. Keep in mind, the 21 degree Fahrenheit is not a comfort zone rating, and it's not on any of the sleeping bags out there. The lowest number you see on a sleeping bag, don't be confused thinking you're going to be toasty warm at that temperature. The lowest number you see is, generally speaking, a survival rating. It will give you a comfort rating. The comfort rating on my Teton is around, I think, down to about 28 or 27 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. So maybe -2 degrees Celsius. Okay. Muddy area, slippy. I'm going to put you guys away so I can use my poles, and let's keep going. So far on the trail this morning, and the trail goes well. We're in a nice kind of flat area, and it's not quite as muddy. It's a little drier here, but we've passed one hunter kind of hidden along the side of the trail in his camouflage. Thank goodness he wasn't hunting hikers, otherwise I would have been pretty much screwed. But he did tell me that he was hunting turkey, so I guess, not being a hunter, I wouldn't know, but I guess turkey season here has started. And then I did pass another 2 hikers, day hikers, I believe, with a dog, just behind me a ways. So, and for the amount of tracks, both human footprints, dog prints, and mountain bike tracks, because this section here is a popular kind of mountain biking section, the trail remains very well traveled, which actually, in all truthfulness, as much as some would like to close the trail, it's still probably the healthiest place to be. So hey, take that for what it's worth, whatever that is. Anyhow, the trail goes well. Up the ways here, not too far, I believe there's like a platform that the skiers use. It's a Craigleith Ski Club. And that would be a perfect location for our first break. And lucky for me, my wonderful girlfriend, Joanne, she made me some peanut butter walnut cookies. So I'm thinking maybe a coffee, a couple of those cookies, and I also have some of the those small kind of oranges, and I might have one of those. So that would be my first break of the day. I don't think we're too far away from that, but I'm not sure, because I did have oatmeal this morning. That was at about 6 o'clock. I had a big bowl of oatmeal, but when you're hiking full pack, it only lasts so long. Okay, let's keep going. What a beautiful spot to take a break. Right at the top of the Craigleith Ski Club. Georgian Bay. Man, one of the ski lifts, some of the remnants of the snow still. And this is the platform. Now this is used in the wintertime by skiers, but there's also, it's also used by thru hikers. I know a lot of thru hikers that have stopped here for a break, had their meals here, and also camped here through the spring, summer and fall. Okay, this corner here is going to be my little spot. I'm going to get set up, I'm going to make myself a coffee, and we'll take a break. Got my coffee, got my peanut butter walnut cookies. Perfect. Wow. What an absolutely beautiful and peaceful place to be today. Man. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. beautiful little stream. Perfect running water and fresh water source to filter from, which I would. Excuse me. I started out this morning with 2.5 liters of water, 2 liters in my smart 1 liter bottles. 2 liters in my smart 1 liter bottles. I have 2 of those, and then my half a liter of 500 ml electrolyte water. I've used some water on my coffee when we had our break, but I don't need to filter water here. There's water where we're camping tonight. It's a wet camp. There's a beautiful little kind of whitewater rapid type river / stream that runs right through there. So that is a perfect location to resupply our water supplies as we need them, and especially tomorrow morning for the hike back. And I don't need to be carrying the 2.5 liters that I started out with, but I don't mind. 2 reasons. First of all, I do like to have sufficient water. Secondly, the day hikes, the overnight hikes like this are still all essentially training hikes for through hikes down the road. So the weight, well, that's okay. We'll get used to carrying it. It's constant training to carry the weight. On a through hike, we'll be carrying at least 10 pounds more weight than we're carrying on an overnight hike. And that is primarily food. Okay, let's keep going. What a perfect, beautiful little location to have our break. So this is break number 2 of the day. Sat by this beautiful little stream on this wooden bridge. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm totally surprised how many people are on the trail today. I knew there'd be people on the trail. I kind of prefer it quiet, but near the trailheads, an awful lot of people walking dogs and just getting some exercise, and that's fine too. We're having an electrolyte drink and a whole wheat blueberry fig bar. It's about 12 o'clock, maybe 12:05, and we're just almost 15 kilometers into the day, just to maybe 14 3/4 kilometers in so far for the day. So we're not setting the world on fire, but you know what? We've got a full day to do our 30 kilometers, halfway there, everything's fine. Perfect little spot. Time for our... About 20 kilometers in so far for the day, and it's around 1:45. It did start to rain, but then it stopped. The weatherman said 60% chance of rain today, and ending sometime late in the evening, and tomorrow a sunny day. So that's fine. Again, the terrain really quite muddy in spots, in fact a lot of mud, but again I'm also surprised on the amount of people I'm seeing on the trail. Right now we're walking along the side of a farm field. It looks like it was a cornfield. last year, so I'm sure it'll be a cornfield this year. Up the ways, if I recall, I'm not sure now, I seem to recall a bench, although I don't know how far it is, with a bit of a lookout area. I'm thinking there might be a spot to stop and maybe have some mashed potato. I also have an individual pouch of chicken as well as an individual pouch of Spam, and of course I have my ramen noodles. Granted, it's not dinner time, but I had the oatmeal this morning. Since then I had my cookies and orange break, and I've eaten a couple of bars. So as we push towards 2 o'clock, I am getting hungry, and my body's telling me it needs some fuel. Now, I also have individual pouch oatmeal. However, because I had a bowl of oatmeal this morning at like 6 o'clock for breakfast, I didn't really want to have oatmeal again kind of in the middle of the afternoon. So I might go with the mashed potato and maybe the individual pouch of chicken and go for that. But anyhow, we'll see. Right here we come to a crossing sty over a farm fence, so I'm gonna have to put you guys away whilst I climb this fence. So let's keep going. Let's find a little spot for lunch. So we have mashed potatoes, well actually herb and butter mashed potatoes, instant of course, and then one of the pouches of chicken. The pouches are sealed in a way that they don't need to be refrigerated. There's 70 calories and maybe just a couple of ounces of chicken, 2 or 3 ounces kind of chopped up. But it's good. It's protein, it's energy, it's fuel. Got my coffee, still hot. Actually, it's still very hot, but that's fine. So yeah, you know what? Life is good. The weather is going to go downhill quickly. I can just feel it. The wind's picking up. You keep getting some showers and it's getting grayer and grayer. But again, that's supposed to happen. It's supposed to clear as the evening progresses, and that's fine. Hopefully by then we'll be in our tent and snuggled up. Hey, we're doing just fine. Let's enjoy our lunch, mid-afternoon break. Then we're going to carry on and we're going to hammer on to Metcalfe Rock. Yeah, still got a ways to go yet. Okay, talk to you soon. As the afternoon progresses, it just brightened up, but only moments ago. It was raining really quite hard. Wow. But luckily, something I did yesterday, which I do, probably a couple of times a year anyhow, if not 3 times a year, I reapply treatment to such things as my backpack for waterproofing, my rain jacket, my tents, things like that. Maybe once, twice, sometimes 3 times a year, depending what it is. I'll just put on a quick spray coat of Atzco. We've talked about that before. Bright orange lid or can. It's an atomizer, but it looks like an aerosol can. But the product is great. About 11, 12, 13 bucks or so at at Walmart. But as a waterproofing product, it works well. And it just so happens that yesterday I did give an application of that to this particular raincoat that I'm wearing. And I'd done one about 3 months before that too. So the Woods raincoat is doing just fine. And I like this jacket a lot. The hike progresses. Man, it's brightening up right now. It's beautiful. The hike progresses well. Just finished a little bit of a climb. Leveling off here. Beautiful area. Had my mid-afternoon lunch. My potatoes and chicken and crackers and coffee. that was just fine. We're probably around, I don't know, I'm going to say 23 miles in for the day so far. Time's moving along, and everything's just fine. One thing I did forget to pack, and the first overnight kind of wild camp through hike of the season, I do forget something quite often. And this time it was my poofy jacket or poofy vest, which I may miss later tonight. However, I'm not considering that a major issue, because I do have good gear with me. I do have several layers with me. But one thing that poofy jacket does for me, it goes into my sleeping bag stuff sack and forms part of my pillow, along with other clothing that I may not be particularly wearing at the time. So I'm hoping I have enough gear to make my pillow, because that's important to me. Anyhow, at 24 kilometers into the Beaver Valley section of the Bruce Trail, looks like a brand new, recently built observation bench and platform. And take a look at the view that you can see from here, right across the Beaver Valley, way in the distance. Stunningly beautiful, absolutely gorgeous through here in the fall. Anyhow, I wanted to show you that for two reasons. One, to show you some of the work that's being done on trail. I'm not sure if this has been done by the Bruce Trail Authority or if it's been done by private people. I don't know. But either way, I'm not sure now if that would be a good location for tomorrow morning's breakfast. It might just be too far away. But anyhow, if not, that would be nice. It would be a nice little spot for our breakfast tomorrow. Okay. We keep making headway. As I say, 24 kilometers in, and everything is going well. So, after a solid day of hiking, and about 30 kilometers later, but I'll know exactly when I look at the GPS when we get exactly to our destination, but it's just down the trail here. We are arriving at Metcalfe Rock. And again, we were here, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks ago we did a day hike through here. Which was amazing, of course. Love this location. Love this hike. Today's been a good one, been a challenge. But we've made it, and tomorrow we're going to go back exactly the way we came. Tonight we have a wild camp. Now, I did run into a couple of, there was two people staying in the University of Toronto chalet tonight, part of the organization or the authority of that particular outdoors club and so on, and representatives of the University of Toronto. And they said it's no problem for me to go ahead and set up my camp on the property in the field, which I'm going to show you shortly. Again, we have camped there before, and at that time before last year when we were doing our through hike, we also had permission to actually camp there. There's a freshwater supply here, or a brook, a running river if you will, for us to filter water from, which is good because that's what we'll do. So yeah, absolutely amazing hike today. Amazing. Right ahead of us is the field where we want to spend the night, the river, the bridge. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. And continuing on the Bruce Trail, if you are a through hiker, there's the Bruce Trail, continues for morning, right there. Nice and simple. Okay. Let's, wow. Yeah, let's get this pack off and let's find a location. We've got lots of daylight left yet, but let's find a location that looks interesting for us to pop up our tent this evening. We'll do that first. Okay. So right now it's about 7 o'clock. It's cooling down pretty quickly, and again I did forget my poofy jacket. My bad. My camp for the night. So here I am. This is where I'll stay for the night unless for some reason somebody tells me to leave. And I am on the University of Toronto property, and the people that are here from the University of Toronto have said, yep, it's okay, go ahead, put up your tent. No problems. So that is my camp for the night. For dinner, well, what I have had is it's kind of a hot muesli type mix. So earlier in the day, you know, I had mid-afternoon, I had the potatoes with the chicken. So for dinner, I had the hot muesli. So you just boil water, add it to it, shake it about, let it sit for 10 minutes. It was an Alpine, which is like a mountain, what do you call that? Mountain house, I guess. Dehydrated foods. So I had one of those muesli, which I had left from my through hike of the Bruce Trail last year. And I thought, you know what? It's not actually my favorite food by any means, but I thought I would get it anyhow. I would eat it anyhow, bring it with me and have it tonight anyhow. So I did. I'm gonna have a coffee, gonna have a bar, maybe two. Still a little hungry, but you know what? Hey, the day's been good. We're relaxed. Had a good chat with a few people today, and that was really kind of nice. Filtered 2.5 liters of water. Well, no, actually 2 liters, sorry. Filtered 2 liters of water. So, yeah. Make coffee tonight. I don't think I'll be using any more water tonight, so you know what, in the morning coffee and then hit the trail. There's lots of water sources on the way back, so that'll be enough. That'll probably be enough. That'll be enough water for the rest of this hike anyhow tomorrow. I'll be hitting the sack soon. So it's been a great day.